Hey everyone, welcome back. It is that time again for another wrestling review. And surprise, surprise, Putty has joined us this time. Not just Campo.Reviews, who reviews movies, TV shows, and now wrestling. We got this little gimpy man over here. Putty, nice Scooby-Doo shirt.
I used to watch wrestling all the time, and then I got a job, and
So do I.
Weird
So
that
do
I
I.
had a job the whole time.
Okay, well, you know what? I had
Yeah,
to sacrifice one thing, and unfortunately, a lot of the wrestling did. And not, but at the time, though, I figured WWE was on a decline anyway.
No, but it's the Royal Rumble is always like, even if you missed it for a while, the Royal Rumble is always a good place to jump back in. It just the event itself has always been one of my favorite events of all time. I've always enjoyed the Rumble because of the surprise returns, the surprise entrance, like just the
Rumbles where all the storylines start for the year.
Absolutely. Or at least the Mania storylines are set into motion here. And let me tell you, there were a lot. We start off the night with the return of Campo's favorite commentator after Booker T.
I finally forgot about this, and now you're going to remind me.
I wrote it down. You told me to write it down.
I mean, he's better than Corey Graves, I guess.
Pat McAfee returns.
When I saw that, I thought about the last time we talked about how much he hated him. So I didn't realize he was gone like that. And so, yeah, I did kind of think, like, doesn't Campo hate this guy? And
he'd hate him even more if he didn't wear shoes.
I really liked him at WrestleMania when we first met him. I really liked him. And as it progressed and he started to create a character, no, that's not for me.
And in this show, he was at his full character.
Yeah.
Like,
I just need the commentators to commentate. Like, I don't need you to play a role in this.
You're not Kevin Kelly.
No, there's only one Kevin Kelly. And you had him and you lost him.
And
then
lost
you had Taz and you lost him. And then you had JR and you lost him. You could have had Tony Schiavone, but you didn't.
You never did. Yeah. So after Pat McAfee returns to do commentary for the whole night, our commentary team is now Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, and Corey Graves. I would have rather had the Irish dude.
You know what? It didn't. With three people, it functions a lot better. Because there's a lot less time for Corey Graves to yell about stupid things.
Mm-hmm. And no Booker T talking about.
I don't need Booker T.
But we do get a Booker T. We'll talk about that a little later. But it starts off the night with a strange. Usually, this is one of the very rare occasions that the men's Royal Rumble match starts the show.
Yeah, I don't think. At first I was a believer in bookending the show, which we didn't get.
No.
But at the same time, you should have put the Bianca Belair match first.
Yeah, but it did make sense though that the main event happened when it did,
and that's fine.
We'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah,
but now, like I said, I would have thought about bookending the show. You could have swapped the Rumbles; it's fine with me. But now, after watching this event, I was okay with the way it played out. I just would have preferred the Bianca Belair match to have,
or even start off with the Pitch Black match.
Oh yeah, okay. The Pitch Black match was.
The Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
That was a good gimmick to break up the two segments.
I agree.
Okay, right? It felt awkward having the Bianca Belair match come after that. That was a good opening match. You bring it in, it was a quick, brief match. We're not going to get to spoilers, so we actually talk about that. But you do that, then you do the Rumble, then you have the split up of the Pitch Black, and then
the women's Rumble, and then the main event. But back to the actual men's Rumble. We start off with Gunther and Sheamus as your first two entrants. And we called it right from the beginning of this match that Gunther was going to be our Iron Man, which he was.
We agreed after a long conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we also nailed 4 of the last 5 people left in the match.
We did. Which we were right. I was surprised. Cody Rhodes enters at number 30. We had a few surprise entrants. They were weak, but we knew they were coming. Edge is one of them.
Well, we technically had 3 surprise. Because number 29, we also weren't expecting.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Putty's favorite, Madcap Moss, but he never showed up.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
So wait, who was that for the spot?
Logan Paul. Logan Paul made his return.
I'm very happy with that switch.
Yes. I think we all are. I think
he was the highlight of the Rumble this year, I think.
Yeah.
And it was generally okay. It
makes me mad how good he is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was trying to explain. Like, you know how I messaged in the group. I said, I actually, it's weird to say that I have respect for this guy because here's the thing. I've always made jokes about him, like the boxing, all this stuff. I didn't care. Like, okay, cool, he's got the skills. But like even in wrestling, when it comes to personality or just doing crazy stuff or just he put on a show.
Yeah.
As
I mean, say
heel,
what you will, he is
put on
still a piece of garbage human being, but
yes, but he's good at doing that. And the thing is that makes him a good heel, but now he's got the skills.
Well,
but he's a baby face.
Character-wise, he's terrible.
That's so
He's not a
weird.
good actor. He's not a good talker, but he's very impressive in the ring, especially for how long he's been wrestling. Every one of his matches has had one mega spot that literally stole the show. And they did. That was the best moment of the whole Rumble, was him and Ricochet jumping off the top ropes and meeting in the... I don't even know how they both... Do you see how high they went?
Yeah, that was an amazing spot.
That was one of those moments where it was like, oh my God, did I just like I literally, and yeah, that's why I messaged it. Like, that's literally when I was like the respect thing. I was like,
those are moments when it's like, okay, I'm not a huge WWE fan anymore. And their spots are so unspectacular, but like every once in a while they come up with a moment like that and you're like, okay. And like that's in the world of wrestling, that's nothing special. But in WWE, that was like a mega moment.
Yeah, because this started off really, really slow because you had entrants, like your first few entrants were Sheamus, The Miz, Kofi Kingston, who I think died outside of the ring.
Yeah, he smoked his head off the table.
Yeah. Johnny Gargano, Xavier Woods, Karrion Kross, who was punked out really fast. Chad Gable, then Drew McIntyre came in, and then we had our big entrant to Brock Lesnar. But he was almost eliminated right away for Bobby Lashley, and that's going to set up their rubber match at WrestleMania, I think.
A match that no one's going to care about.
No. You also have your other Mania feud here because Logan Paul eliminated Seth Rollins, and I think that's, as much as I hate to say it, that's going to be an amazing match. But it's a shitty spot for Rollins to be in.
Rollins is a bad match.
No, but it's a shitty spot for Rollins to be in, though. They're probably going to go on
It's a shitty spot for him to be in terms of like caliber. The match is still going to be good, though. People are going to be impressed by the match. I guarantee it. It's just like if you're a main Carter and you're wrestling like a not even a wrestler yet guy, like that's messed up.
Yeah,
but that's what they use him for.
And see that. Well, that's the other thing too. Again, I hate Logan Paul. And that really works to his advantage. But the problem was, I thought he was a heel. When you guys kept on baby face, I was like, really? They're playing him off as the heel. They really need to work on that because there are people that hate him, and I would like it better to have.
He was supposed to be the heel, right? But then he turned on the Miz and went babyface in the same.
Yeah. And the thing is, they just turned Seth Rollins babyface, but in this match, Seth Rollins is going to be the heel.
I don't know. I don't believe in this WWE world where there's like a forced heel, forced face. Like I live in the outside world where you can have two faces and two heels fight each other. In AEW, for example, in Impact, people cheer for everyone. Adam Cole's a heel. Listen to the pop. Nobody cares if you're a heel. People are going to cheer you until it's time to boo. And I think real wrestling fans will understand that someone being a heel is part of the job. Like you respect their qualities of being the bad guy, where like I feel like in WWE they just want you to hate this person, and it's like, well, that like it doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand the logic. But so far the match is decent. I agree that until Drew McIntyre came in, it was kind of an awkward match.
I agree. And I like Drew McIntyre, and I like their dynamic when they were taking over
him and Sheamus. They are definitely going to win the tag belts.
They should. It'd be great. They work together.
They didn't win the.
Oh right, it's Hit Row. Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, wait, Hit Row lost to Ricochet and
Braun Strowman.
Like by the way, I didn't know about that tag team, but I
don't think anybody did.
Really that's a great tag team. The way their
that's
dynamic
what we were talking about.
It feels like it shouldn't work, but it does.
It looked like they were. Here's the thing: I had no idea. I thought this was already an added thing. I'm like, dude, what am I missing with these two guys? These guys work together like they should be over at AEW.
They have the same
like,
haircut with the beard.
Like, I thought this was already set up, and like you guys saying this literally right now.
It had the same dynamic when Braun Strowman was in a tag team with Alexa Bliss, and yes, I could say it. I have it on mute.
But yeah, the both of those tag teams work. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Yeah.
So I mean, I want to see Sheamus and Drew McIntyre win those titles.
Yeah. But we will talk about our theories at the end of the show because something happens tonight that will set up something big, and we won't get into that. But as expected, we all picked it. It was the worst kept secret. Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble. Apparently we suffered.
We got almost every prediction right. I was the only one who said a wrong thing when I picked the person in the next match.
Good point. So Seth, it sets up a Seth Rollins feud against Logan Paul. It sets up a few feuds. I kind of like the stare down between Brock Lesnar and Gunther. I kind of want to see a Brock Lesnar Gunther match.
Right.
I want to see what we got at the end of this match. I want
Cody Rhodes versus Gunther.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that was it. They had a nice little 5-minute match at the end of the Rumble, like a decent match. Cody apparently suffered a busted eardrum. That's the injury he suffered yesterday.
At least it wasn't that chest again, because that was looking real scary.
It was looking bad. Did you see it, Putty? Cody's chest again was starting to look purple.
Yeah, but it's for some reason there for a moment it just looked normal with him, unfortunately, because
I'm so used to it. But what are your guys' thoughts on Cody winning the Rumble? And do you think
that's what we wanted? If we didn't want this, the only two options that made sense were the two guys that got left.
Where one of them was Seth Rollins and the other one was Gunther.
And we called it. So and the rest of the people that we said would make it to the end, Seth Rollins was there almost right to the end.
Right to the end.
Sheamus was there right to the end, and so was Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Sheamus and Gunther started the match, and they went pretty much right to the end as well. And Gunther lasted, how long did he last? He lasted 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds. He is now the new record holder for longest time in a Rumble without being eliminated.
Man.
He beat Rey Mysterio's 69 minutes.
And Rey Mysterio never should have achieved those 69 minutes. It's insane to me to think that a guy that's that small that anyone could have picked up and threw in the air out of the ring.
Oh, and Rey Mysterio was supposed to be entrant number 18, but Dominic prevented it, and it was Dominic that came in instead.
See, we
missed that one.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I know they're setting something, but I want to say this. You know me, I the last time I watched WWE, I was right there with the whole Dominic Mysterio being tag team partners. So I missed the whole dynamic of him going south. And here's the thing, still not feeling this kid, to be honest with you, but it's a lot better than before. I will say that.
The character is a little bit better, but he also has a better group of supporting characters around him.
Agree.
This time around. And
but it just still feels awkward with this kid.
Dominic feels like he's a kid trying to play with, the big kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are your thoughts on Cody, and what are your thoughts on what's going to happen? Will he win the belt at Mania?
Yes.
Well,
without spoiling the final match.
Okay, so
yes.
Now, will he win both, or will he just win
one?
I mean,
I think that's what we'll talk about at the end of the show. We have your theory that we'll talk about at the end of the show.
I think this is what I'm going to say. Regardless, this is not a spoiler. This is not about anyone in particular. I think WWE, if they're smart, they will never ever let anyone win both sets of titles at the same time again. This has become the stupidest parody in all of wrestling.
Your main championship is hijacked. It's held hostage.
Both of your two main championships because you don't have any tag titles.
Yeah.
And no one cares about the Intercontinental Championship or the USA Championship.
Mind you, Austin Theory's making it a little bit more enjoyable. He's getting better
too, but at the same time, it's like they're running out of people to put against them. Is the problem.
That's very true. It's very true. We saw after Cody wins, we have just one WrestleMania sign point. We were counting. I made a big error in saying we were going to do an over under of 25.
Yeah, you were crazy. How many was it?
We ended up with a total of 11 points to the WrestleMania.
So your brother lost by 1 point.
By 1. My brother said my brother said it was going to be 10 or under.
You said 7. I said under 7.
Yeah,
and it was going really good for
until
me
Rhea
until the
Ripley
very
pointed
end
like
of the
9 times.
Yeah, the women's rumble right at the end, it got out of control.
Yeah, but yeah, we only had one, and then we got some nice fake fireworks at the end.
Oh, Putty, did you notice the fake fireworks?
Are you talking about which ones? The ones on the top of the building?
Yeah.
Yes, the ones outside in the
You mean the ones that look like I could have made them in that
Yes,
thing?
so
Like,
someone made it on their phone.
Dude,
they
when
made
I
it in
saw-
clip art.
As soon as
when
we
I-
noticed it, we couldn't stop laughing. We rewound it like 3 times just to watch it.
When I noticed that, I looked at it, I go, wait, did they just put fake fireworks on top of the building? And then I noticed when the camera's panning, the fireworks were like running across the building, like they were like not on the position.
There was no trail of smoke.
You know,
Usually
we
after
got
fireworks, there's smoke.
at first it was the smoke, but then we realized that when the big ones went off, they tried to change the color of the sky, and it looked like they just added like glowing effect. Sorry, they added like a glowing effect around it. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, that was pretty. It was pretty funny. So with that, we are going into our next match, which was Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the Lights Out Mountain Dew match.
Okay,
Now this is a match we were ready to shit on. Like we were ready to hate this match.
Okay, here's my thing. I didn't know what this was in the first place. Like, I was like, are they going to turn off the lights off and everything? And so I'm going to give you guys my idea of like things. The LA Knight guy, I didn't have know anything about it, but of course, I hear it. I think of two things. One's the old TV show back in the 80s, and two, some Tim and Eric anyway. So my point to the thing is, he does work that 80s vibe, like really does when it comes to the outfit, the look.
He's like that 80s jock.
Exactly. So the way, of course, I didn't know what this match was, so I saw him come on. I'm like, who's this guy? Well, here's the thing. I just think that the look reminds me of the 80s, and it works to that thing. I'm not a fan of his. But the thing is, I was like, what's this match? So, of course, Bray comes out. I'm like, oh, it's going to be all dark. But I didn't realize they were going to do the glow effect and everything. Here's my thing. The whole Bray thing is I've seen him go through all the parts of his story, and I like Bray Wyatt. I like what he's doing. I'm still curious about this guy, the caretaker. What's the caretaker? What's his name? I don't know.
The caretaker, Uncle Howdy?
Yeah, Uncle Howdy. Yeah, I would call him a character. I'm just Marvel, okay?
It's Undertaker's other brother, the caretaker.
But anyway,
he just comes out with a mop and a bucket.
Right? But like I said, I had no idea until it started what this was. So once it started, I was like, oh, cool. This is actually a visually fun match to watch. Is it going to be entertaining? I don't know. And that was the thing I was really worried about. But I think it actually turned out pretty well. I mean, it's not
we were getting Batman and Robin vibes when Robin steals a Batmobile and
yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we're not the only ones that thought that, right, Campo?
Yeah, well, it popped up all over the internet today.
Yeah, so so we're not the only ones that thought that. I made a comment that Bray Wyatt kind of had a Captain Spaulding look to him.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, okay. So first of all, this gimmick for this match was top tier. I was expecting this to be the worst thing ever. As I've said multiple times, these are the exact type of matches that WWE does that I cannot stand.
With the big Mountain Dew logo in the middle of the
we got a sponsorship. Let's just create a match out of it. Yes, okay, I'll give it to them. They did a really cool looking match, and some of the stuff did look really good. So I can't really poop all over this. But I hate both of these wrestlers. I'm starting to realize more and more that Bray Wyatt was never actually a good wrestler.
He's a good character.
Yeah. That's exactly. Again,
that's the table spot. I'm so done with the WWE table spot. I need that to not happen anymore.
The collapsing tables,
the table just fall apart is like so stupid.
When it's back up 30 seconds later.
Yeah, but mind you, the exploding little papers looked cool.
Yeah, with those green fluff that went everywhere.
The match was too quick.
It was only a 5-minute match. Yeah.
They wanted it to be quick.
But there was a little bit of a post-match incident, though. It was kind of cool.
Well, he changed his face paint. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that.
He put on a mask.
He put on a
mask.
Yeah. But what we noticed when Bray was making his entrance to the ring, we saw all his characters. I kind of caught that his characters were
above his head.
No, on his way
they
to
were
the ring.
On the side of the ring.
When he first was coming out. Yeah, so the lights would flash dark and come back on, and you'd see the buzzard, and then flash off and back on, and you'd see the pig, like as he's walking towards the ring at the beginning of the match.
Professor Pig.
Well, see, here's another reason why. Again, this is more based on a stylistic storyline than more of a wrestling itself. Bray, I like what Bray Wyatt's doing because the thing is, and the post, which you guys, I'm guessing we're not going to discuss the post conference. I can discuss it here. Okay, well, I'll throw it in here. He does talk about it during that, and he talks about how he's compared to, and I don't see it, but he's compared to like Undertaker trying to beat Undertaker kind of thing. You know
That's
what I mean?
because
thing.
what just happened on Raw.
Yeah.
But see, I like that he's bringing out these personalities, because then what happens is you can make it to where Bray Wyatt just has multiple personalities.
Kind of like the way what they did with Mick Foley.
Exactly. And that, I mean, if you do it right, don't let Bray Wyatt be Mick Foley, which at the same time, I think that he realizes
Mick Foley became a joke after.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's also why he keeps on trying to redesign himself as a different version.
Chainsaw Charlie, it happened.
It happened. Yeah. It did actually.
But that's my whole point too.
Okay.
And then there was Captain Howdy at the end, like he's laying on like this
Captain
platform.
Howdy, Captain Saudi.
Yeah, Captain. That's after they sell to the Arabian conglomerate there. Uncle Howdy. I have Captain Spaulding on the brain. It's Uncle Howdy. He's on the top of the platform and he does an elbow drop off the top and everything explodes and he completely missed that elbow.
He missed the elbow drop by a mile. They Chris Jericho'd the mat. Obviously, we knew that. I mean, my issue is like with a spot like that. Like you could see he was up there. He looked down. He was like, "Shit, I don't want to do this." And he like kind of like did a circle. He came back. He looked again, and then he looked away. And he's like, "Okay, I gotta go."
So it's clearly a performer that's up there. Who do you think it was? Do you think it was his brother Bo?
It's Bo Dallas.
It is Bo Dallas.
I mean, for two reasons. One, he already knows how to wrestle. Two, it makes sense for the storyline. And I'll give you a third reason, because he's so expendable that if he did get hurt doing that, it wouldn't matter anyone.
That's true. But yeah, it was, I mean, we didn't want to enjoy this match, but we kind of did.
Okay, I enjoyed the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a good match.
Yeah.
But I will not give it a bad score because it was a good enough time.
Yeah. That's what we really want in the end. After that, we get Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss, and oh my God, it started off okay. Alexa Bliss actually got some good offense in this at the beginning.
She looked really strong. I haven't seen her hit someone and make it look like it hurt in a long time, and she was coming full force. And then, like, not 10 minutes, like 3 minutes into the match, she completely ran out of energy, and everything she was doing looked weak as hell again.
Yeah, and that's the point. I started skipping things too because it really started getting bad, and I was like, okay, I just not feeling this. You're not giving me anything really, to be honest with you. So honestly,
this match legitimately made Bianca Belair look bad. There was nothing in this match that made her look good.
Yeah, and she's been our top female performer for the last 12 months, and like this
and the wrap up at the end of the match, the video package didn't push anything any further, so this ended up being a waste of time.
Yeah, we're not sure, is Alexa gonna join Uncle Howdy? Is she not?
Because we're still getting the same little snippet that we keep getting, and it's not progressing the story. It's just the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. It made Bianca look bad. This was a terrible, terrible match. I was talking with some other friends of mine too, and they were all saying like Bianca looked bad in this match.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Alexa has her moments, but we know the issues there. I mean, that is what it is at the end of the day. But like, hey, if you ever want to hang out, you can call me. And I won't make fun of you.
And I won't make fun of you.
Yeah, I think we'll all hang out, you know.
Yeah.
Putty can come too. I'll bring
Putty.
Sure.
I'm good. But with that, the less we talk about that, Bianca retains, clearly sets up. We don't know what this is setting up because we move on to the next match, which was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Before the Women's Royal Rumble match, can we talk about that Applebee's commercial with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch? What the hell?
Oh my God, that was the weirdest ad ever. What the hell? And then what they were the lines they were saying,
I think this too.
So cringe.
Take this out of context, shall you? It's fine. But I thought it was very weird that the girl they picked to play the waitress was like a ridiculously hot woman. Like, don't you feel weird that you're trying to show off Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and then the person in the middle looked better than both of them? And it was like, okay, I'm so confused by like what the logic was of this. But it was not a good commercial.
No, it was weird.
It was to put over Becky Lynch for some reason.
Yeah, and Seth Rollins had this amazing shirt.
It looked like they basically put them in an Applebee's and then put a camera in there and said, you know what, you guys just shoot whatever you want. You're all right. We'll come back and put something together. Right?
They looked. Seth Rollins' wardrobe was like every reggae artist from the early '90s.
That mesh shirt. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But that was before the Women's Royal Rumble match. And at this point, we've had how many different 20-minute promos? And now we understand why. Fab cleared it up for us.
Yeah, so we figured it out, Putty. Do you know why that they have the promos?
Why?
Okay, so there's two versions of Peacock. There's a paid and there's a free version. Right? So the free version has ads. So while those commercials are airing,
they're actually showing people doing commentary and showing stuff. I've been to that because I don't have no ads on my Peacock. So last time I saw,
So you have the free version, or you have the paid version?
I have the paid version, the full paid no ads version. But
so the free version actually shows commercials.
Well, here's the thing, though.
That's why they show us the stuff we're seeing.
No. But you're not getting this, guys. Understand this. They will take those out later, but when it comes to like stuff like Applebee's, when they're doing those kind of things, that will stay in. I actually had that ad, but anything else?
Yeah, everyone had that ad.
Yeah, so
because that's a paid sponsorship of WWE.
That has to stay there, yeah.
But the problem with Peacock, and here's the difference with it all, because I guess Peacock's taken over when it comes to the pay-per-views in that situation and all this, is this. I watched it afterwards, but I had to wait till it was posted. And they do end up editing it and taking the commercials out. But you have to wait till it goes through the whole thing. Whenever we watch it, if they're like, hey, we're going to drop for a commercial for local ads or something like that for people that have the paid version or have to pay stuff, will just show something sometime either that just says Peacock, we will be right back on the screen. And it's like, well, you're basically not just give us ads.
But for people who have the network
and are watching it live,
all you get is promos. They just run those promo videos.
Exactly.
Yep.
Whereas on the free version of Peacock, you're actually getting your local network ads.
Yep.
So thanks, Fab, for clearing that up for us. We go into the Women's Royal Rumble match. The first entrant in was Rhea Ripley, and we all thought she was going to get eliminated because she had this rib injury, but it wasn't a rib injury. Believe it or not, Rhea Ripley did dislocate her knee and popped it back in place before the match.
Damn.
And still eliminated, was it
hardcore.
7 people?
That's hardcore.
Yeah, she also, in typical Women's Royal Rumble match fashion, laid outside the ring for like a good 20 minutes of this match. But so did a lot of them.
Yeah,
and it's that
works for her.
Liv Morgan went bell to bell as well. Like she was number 2, and she was the last person eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So you have another Iron Woman right there in Gunther now and Liv Morgan. We won't get into the spoilers with this, but there were a couple things. There's a few highlights, a few lowlights. Dana Brooke comes in, and Campbell's like, "Who the hell is Dana Brooke?"
Okay. So I guess we'll get to her eventually and everything. But there's the one that was the surprise that I didn't even know she was going to be there in the first place, and I haven't seen her since I was.
I don't think she knew she was going to be there.
I don't think she knows. But Dana Brooke is clearly sponsored with the Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is she? Oh, okay. So
well,
I didn't know about that.
She's totally dressed as Barbie.
Okay, anyways, she sucked.
Yeah.
This is a problem with this. Even the bad wrestlers in the men's match are still
competent wrestlers.
Yeah,
competent performers.
And the women's match, it's like there's 2 levels. There's the really good ones, and then straight up garbage. And there's such a clash in the styles of wrestling, and there was so much standing around. Where if you watch the men's match, they never stopped wrestling. The whole time there was something happening.
They're better at calling spots in the ring. This is very much they know who's getting eliminated and when they're getting eliminated, but everything else is put together in the ring on the spot, on the fly.
Well, Danny caught a few moments in the men's match where they were all like talking to each other because they weren't sure what they were supposed to do now. And like every single wrestler was in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
And it looked really weird. But yeah, this match, there was no spot calling. They don't even they're not even telling each other what to do. They're either lying outside on the floor, not eliminated, or like rolling around in the ring pretending to fight.
Yeah, and then we had, which after they mentioned the fact that there were going to be no NXT performers in the Royal Rumble, any of the Royal Rumbles, we get our first NXT performer in Roxana Perez, the NXT Women's Champion.
They tried too hard to make her look good. Yeah, I'm standing by this firmly, and I'm sorry, Simon Miller from What Culture. but I don't see what these people see in this girl.
And
she's
Roxana
not
Perez.
a terrible wrestler, but
she's
people
not
treat
there
her
yet.
like she's god tier. She's so medium that it's not okay.
The next NXT wrestler is the one you should put is the pony you should put your cash on, and that's Zoe Stark.
And
Zoe
she
Stark
Iron
had
Man
a tremendous
all the way till the end, almost too.
Yeah, she had a tremendous showing in this match. Zoe Stark is such an underrated women's talent in NXT right now.
They use her so poorly.
She was the one who should have gotten the belt and not Roxana Perez. And that's Booker T's fingerprints all over that with Roxana Perez.
Yeah, she has a free pass to the top.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of lackluster entrants. We had Zoe Stark, Tegan Knox, Becky Lynch. Asuka comes out.
Knox was so bad.
Asuka, though. Let's talk about Asuka.
Asuka was great.
She comes up with her new old gimmick, the old Kana gimmick, the evil
Japanese gimmick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back when she was it Joshi
and
Pro?
She came in and went crazy. She
lit up everything. Lasted right to the end too.
Rightfully so, because she should have won. Like, okay, well, whoever won was supposed to win, and we knew who that was.
We know. We get before we talk about the winner, Campo. Let's have a moment of silence for Chelsea Green.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I'm using
upset. Full swears here.
We were so upset. We're not monetized, so go ahead.
This woman was a straight up top of the pack talent in Impact
Badass
wrestling.
In Impact.
Even when she was doing her crazy like wedding character.
Yeah, way back in Impact. But when she was part of Vex with Deonna Purrazzo,
Deonna elevated her to this new level where Putty watched the match. Putty watched her go
that Queen
in
of the
ring off the top of a ladder outside of the ring through a table. They drop like 15 feet through a table. And now you're in WWE. You show up and you immediately get eliminated. Sure, I understand you're trying to build
5 seconds.
I think they're trying to build some kind of storyline here where she's going to be like a psycho again. And that's like what they're going for. Because you've seen it when she got eliminated. She was going all crazy. But it's like...
Which could set up... Because the person that eliminated her, it could set up something for the future.
Which is fine. But at the same time, it's like we watched you go from this top tier talent knowing you're going to come to WWE and they're going to shit all over you again.
Like Emma had a better showing than Chelsea Green.
Emma's super underrated. Emma gets underappreciated because I prefer the stupid ass character that she was. I thought that was so much fun. But that like brushed aside the fact that she was one of the better wrestlers at that era when she was doing that with Santino. And then she went to Impact, won the title, then won the tag titles,
went to ROH,
went to Ring of Honor, and then now she's back there, and it's just like
she's wasted again.
She's just a lower mid card person again.
I mean, we had Zelina Vega come out as what's her nuts with the paid promotion with Street Fighter 6.
And once again, we were all upset about this because she looked cool, and we were like, I don't want to think this person's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I that was one of those things. I was wondering if it's going to come up because the thing is, I don't know who she is as a character, but
she's a brand new character from Street Fighter 6.
No, not the. I know the Street Fighter character. I'm talking about the what's her name? The girl that's dressing up as a Street Fighter.
He doesn't know who she is.
Oh, yeah. Zelina Vega. It's Malachi Black's wife from House of Black.
Well, here's my thing. Really? So that's weird that she's over here too. But anyway,
same thing with Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews.
Yeah. But anyway, my point of the thing is this. The thing is, when I saw her, I go, oh, that's adorable. That definitely is a Street Fighter character when you see it. But I was not expecting her to be like all over the place. Like I like that she has that whole Rey Mysterio vibe to her when it comes to that craziness and that whole adorable. Like I feel like it works for her character, and I can't wait to see more of that. That costume really brought that out of her.
But that costume is just this. That's not who she is.
No. I get that. I'm saying as far as her, as her, like her energy.
That's more of who she is than the character she actually plays in WWE.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. Someone else had a video game themed outfit. Was it in the men's Rumble?
No, we're talking Johnny Gargano that had the Kang themed outfit.
Oh yeah, he had the Kang
Kang the Conqueror. Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, it's like everything's all over the place.
Yeah, and then you have you had a couple others. You're probably talking about Putty. Going back to what you're saying, Michelle McCool is the one you were talking about.
So. Here's the thing. I was expecting,
but they telegraphed that because at the beginning,
that was awesome.
Yes, but at the beginning of the Rumble, they showed her at the ringside,
which they shouldn't have done.
And Michelle McCool's here, and then we're like, okay, yeah, she's a surprise entrant in the Rumble.
See, I didn't think of her being a surprise entrant. I just figured that because I don't know how many old wrestlers go back to these events because I'm not really.
But why would she be there if Undertaker's
everyone?
Not there?
Okay, but Putty's not watching this stuff, right?
That's true. Yeah,
I knew because everybody on social media was saying Michelle McCool was guaranteed to be one of the entrants, and then they immediately showed her to us at the start.
I didn't know
about
that.
Of course, she's going to be in it.
And see, that's what
she was the only special person.
Yeah. Right. In terms of the women's match, yeah. Well, I mean, example, you had her final entrant, the most dangerous worker there is, in Nia Jax.
I don't count that. She just they threw her out good.
Yeah, but like I said, the whole thing with Michelle McCool is when I saw it, I was like, oh, it was more like, oh, she still looks good. And then I flashed back to like Stacy Keibler and that whole run of like all those divas and everything. But then when her music came up, I was like, wait, and then I thought she's actually going to come out and sue. I didn't realize it was actually from the audience. I just thought maybe, there was no
because Pat McAfee made a point. She's wrestling in Uggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 8 times.
Yeah. So, but see that. So I mean, that for me, for not knowing it, it was actually a nice surprise to be able to see it again. But
we'll give you that.
But I'm gonna say this though, that it was a nice surprise when she came in. Like, oh my god, I get to see her wrestle again. And then I saw her wrestle. I'm like, oh, you have not done it for a while. So
and then we hear a chainsaw.
She physically looked like one of the better wrestlers in there. She was jacked as hell. Her abs were like ripped.
Yeah, because she's what now?
I think she's like 40 something, like early 40s.
She is actually she's 43.
Yeah,
so good on her. Good on
same
her.
age as me.
Good on her. Yeah, she's born
happy birthday, Putty. It was
Putty's happy birthday. It was Putty's birthday last week.
Last Saturday. No, not birthday. No. Literally last night was my birthday for
by the time this gets posted,
this is gonna post on Tuesday, Putty. Putty. Let's just say Putty dipped into the birthday 420. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitler's birthday.
I never know when you guys are going to post it.
No.
Could be happen. So
this is getting. This is Tuesday, so it was on the day of the Rumble. Let's just put it that way. How about that, Putty?
That was way to break kayfabe, Michelle McCool was his gift.
Way to break kayfabe, Putty.
Okay, so tell me what's next. Who's next? Which
Chainsaw Charlie?
Wrestler? Chainsaw Charlie.
We heard a chainsaw, all of us at the same time. There's 4 of us watching this in my basement, and we hear this chainsaw. The 4 of us just started laughing. Is it Chainsaw Charlie? It was Shotzi. Coming out in a leather face mask.
She sucks.
I think I had to be there. That definitely feels like I had to be there moment for sure. Because I was like, yeah.
Mind you, at this point, Camp is already about 5-6 vodka drinks in.
Oh, buddy, at this point, I was already I was like reached my peak. Like I don't even think I drank anymore after this match.
Yeah, I don't think you did. You just were drinking the 7-Up after that.
But like this, Shotzi's so bad.
Yeah.
Like. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be the negative person and like be like, well, I can't wrestle. So I obviously I'm not.
But the thing is, that's the thing. And we talked about this on Saturday night as well, that NXT match she had was such a good match.
But anytime the bright lights are on her, when it's something big, she flops. She came in this match and immediately had a botch. Danny called it right away. As soon as she did it. As soon as she went in the ring.
She went in the ring, yeah. As soon as she went in the ring,
and she got eliminated pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and I feel like in the women's side, when I was watching both of the Rumbles, there were a lot more botches in the women's. Like for example, that one girl goes crazy. Like that. Remember that one girl came? I don't know her name. When she comes in, she goes all absolutely bonkers and starts punching everyone. Raquel. And at one point, she misses so far from hitting somebody, but they just throw themselves back. Like
that was a great one. Remember the kick? Remember the kick?
Yeah, the kick.
And it was like 2 feet away from her head, but she still sold it. But yeah,
so
and meanwhile, there's a really great storyline happening in the ring between the Bailey and Becky Lynch situation and Damage Control, but they're not focusing on it. They're so like paying attention to every new person that's coming in.
I think the fact that they shortened it from 2 minutes to 90 seconds hurts the storytelling.
And the funny part was I called it too. I'm like, I bet you anything right now, Io Sky is gonna come out.
Yeah,
like it was so rigged to plan it so Becky's
because they were all like
all of them.
Damage Control is pretty much in one after the other.
No, it was it was Bailey, then 2 people, and then
Dakota Kai, and then Io Sky,
or the other. It was either those 2 and then 2.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So as Bailey came in at number 6, it was B-Fab at number 7 from Hit Row, then Roxana Perez, and then Io Sky 9 or Dakota Kai 9 and Io Sky 10.
It's funny. I saw a lot of people talking about that today too. That girl B-Fab, that's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, this just shows you that they brought back Hit Row for no reason because it made her so irrelevant. She literally ran in. She's the fastest elimination ever in a women's Rumble.
No, Chelsea Green is.
Was it? Was it faster?
Yeah, Chelsea Green was 5 seconds. B-Fab was 36.
Okay.
So she B-Fab when she was eliminated was the fastest elimination.
No, yeah, she literally ran in and then was thrown out. Like there was no time.
And it's like it shows you that the WWE doesn't have faith in this team. So like, why did you bring them back?
Yeah, it's kind of like, and then like I said, our final entrant was Nia Jax. They all kind of beat up on her, and
which was cool. Everyone appreciated that because the fans immediately responded to not wanting this person back.
Yeah, I think this is a one and done. I hope it's a one and done.
I do, because I don't like her. First of all, as a person, her social media footprint is disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
She's terrible in the ring. She's not a good personality.
She's not a safe worker,
and she's one of the most unsafe wrestlers I've ever seen in my entire life.
People hate working with like other women do not like working with her.
Here's another thing I'm starting to notice. I understand they're trying to bring the whole diversity, not just I'm just talking about like in like weight size and the way people look when it comes to the female wrestlers, and I have all the respect to that. But here's the thing. I'm not feeling the whole thing of power. Like when you were going through the whole thing.
Piper Niven looks more intimidating than Nia Jax.
No, come on, let's stop.
But that's exactly what I'm getting to. I will give Piper saying that she does look better, but that's
the
my
Scottish
point.
Marshmallow.
But that's exactly my point. Nothing against it, but like I know there's people that look big, like overweight, and then
like Keith
have
Lee.
muscle to it. Yeah,
Keith Lee,
like a prime example.
Yeah,
she does. These girls don't show that behavior. It's more like, you know what I mean. And I'm not trying to be mean, but when you're so used to in the past having stuff like people like China that actually have a muscle to them, that China's
like
a different
Jade
story altogether.
Or even Jade Cargill.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. These are towering forces.
We're still so done with anyway.
Well, yeah, but that's my whole point. There's a whole situation where it's like, you know, you're not.
I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah,
that you're the way that the women's division exemplifies strength is just, oh, they're fat, so they're strong. But meanwhile, you have Rhea Ripley or like Raquel who look like actual strong wrestlers.
Women,
But mind you, I think it works better with Nia Jax than it does with Doudrop. I mean, Piper Niven. I generally do. Like, Piper doesn't have a look at all in any way like she should be even a wrestler. Mind you, she's not bad in the ring. I'm not saying this to be offensive. She's just like, she doesn't have that like meanness to her where like a Vader who was like a big guy had like this vibe. Where Nia Jax has that. She does have that, like, I'll fight all of you, let's go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get Putty's point on it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not me trying to be mean against anyone at all. That's not.
No, it makes sense.
We totally get what you're saying.
You have to make it visually, you know, like I
believable.
I believe this to be real. Yeah, exactly.
You have to make it believable.
Well, and we can make the same argument the other way, because in no world are you going to convince you that Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, or Alexa Bliss do damage to anyone.
Well, I agree, but that's just eye candy at that point. I hate putting it that way, but that's pretty much what they're doing.
But I think Nikki Cross even got an elimination.
Nikki Cross hung around for a bit.
Yeah, she actually did. Which brings us to after Nia Jax gets eliminated, then a lot of the other wrestlers get eliminated from that point. Your final 3 are Asuka, and then your 2 that started the match, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. And Asuka gets eliminated, which I was kind of upset. I was kind of hoping Asuka would win this, but I
wanted Rhea to win.
Right.
Spoilers: Rhea wins.
Rhea wins. Yeah.
And she pointed a lot at the sign. I was outside smoking.
But she deserves it. The thing is,
absolutely.
It's not just character-wise, wrestling-wise. She puts off a great persona.
She set all kinds of records in this match tonight. She is now she has the longest runtime in a women's Royal Rumble match. She now has the most eliminations in one Royal Rumble match. I think she has most women's eliminations of all time in a Royal Rumble match. And now she's a Royal Rumble winner. Like,
isn't she the first person also? Because I don't think anybody has.
She's gone in. She's the first woman who's gone end to end.
Yeah, but is there any men? No men's done that, have they?
Shawn Michaels has done it twice.
Did he? Okay.
And Stone Cold did it, yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they.
But
did
yeah, she is also
that one Rumble where he sat on the corner post just waiting for people to
go like this.
I remember that now. Yeah.
But yeah, so Rhea Ripley now also has the distinction of the first woman to go #1 to win it, like beginning to end.
Hey,
so,
Gunther went all the way, baby.
Yeah,
he went all the way.
Yeah, so good with a dislocated knee at that.
You know, Rhea Ripley, good on her. I think if you're smart, you set this up in a Stone Cold fashion and you let her win again next year.
Now, my question is here. So now that you have your women's match, because we can talk about this because we know Bianca's still champ and Charlotte's still champ. Who is Rhea?
Charlotte.
You would say Charlotte?
It's a more formidable match in the sense that they're not that Bianca is less strong. She's probably equally as strong, but I think Charlotte Flair is
that retribution from 2 years ago where Charlotte won the Royal Rumble.
You get that, and you get the in kayfabe character. Charlotte Flair is the queen. She's like the epitome of the champions. You're gonna want to beat her and not Bianca because you also want to. Charlotte has X amount of championships. Remember, we talked about this.
Yeah.
She's the kind of character that you make a quick move from. You give it to her just to let her have a little bit of shine, then you immediately take away her title.
See, but I'm afraid with Vince coming back and him trying to get creative control back, he's going to keep Charlotte as champ and have Bianca and Rhea.
What show is Rhea on?
Rhea's Raw.
Oh, then they're gonna do Bianca.
Yeah.
Bianca, I'm okay with Bianca losing the title.
Yeah, she's had a good year run with it. That's fine. I'm good with that. But the thing is, do not give the belt to Rhea and have her.
Yeah, like, do you let Sonya beat Charlotte? No. I doubt it. So if you think about that, in that feud, you're gonna let Charlotte go on another year-long run with the title? No, there's no way. And I don't want to see another feud between her and Ronda.
Which I think is going to happen.
It has to be Shayna. It has to be Shayna.
And I was so happy when Ronda did not come out in the Women's Royal Rumble.
I agree.
It has to be Shayna Baszler that beats Charlotte Flair.
But see, here's the thing. Either way, if she takes, if Rhea Ripley has to fight either one, and I agree. I think it should be Bianca as well. Here's the thing with her. Because she's running this whole thing. What was it called again? The
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
They're calling her mom and doing all that kind of stuff and everything.
That's just Dominic because he's a weirdo.
Yeah, well, my point to the thing is I feel like this is gonna push that weird idea because it is a big meme online. I see a bunch of kids playing that stuff. Like it's a good meme to play off of that doesn't feel too uncomfortable, even though it is still cringe. But my point to the whole thing is now with her, if she gets a belt by her, that means she has that leadership capability where she can be kind of like where Roman Reigns is, where she's like got the belt and she's like, I'm the mom here, I'm the queen, I run this, these men work for me. And
that's true.
That whole angle where she's like doing that whole,
she's the what's it called, the person behind the curtain.
Exactly,
pulling all the strings.
She's the Wizard of Oz.
She is literally the Wizard of Oz
because her storyline really is starting to match up to something like that. Even though I'm just coming into it.
No, I can see where you're coming with that.
Well, don't worry, we're gonna get you. We're catching back up to where we started last year. The Royal Rumble was the perfect starting point, so we're gonna get you in as many pay-per-views as possible.
As we can this year. Up next, as if the show wasn't long enough, we get a Hardy concert. Now, who the hell is this Hardy guy?
I skipped it. I'm
not going to lie to you. These guys didn't skip it for some reason. He started fast forwarding and then he let it play for the rest of it.
No, the reason why I started fast forwarding was because we were caught up live.
Oh, anyway.
That's why I had to stop.
I thought it was going to be way worse than it was. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a good band, but like I was expecting it to be like Jeff Jarrett country music. Like, Take My Baby Tonight. What was the name of the Jeff Jarrett song?
And I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
Yeah.
That was
classic.
That was a
song by
song.
Not that Double J.
It was the other Jesse James,
the
Road Dogg.
James.
Who wasn't even sung by him either. It was some other guy.
Yeah, it was sung by the other guy that was on the stage.
But so with that, after the Hardy concert, whatever you want to call it, we get into our main event of the night. Couple things. Like, one thing I noticed when Roman Reigns makes his entrance, he only comes out with Sammy and with Paulie. He doesn't come out with the rest of the
Paul E. Dangerously.
Paul Heyman. He doesn't come out with the rest of the crew, I guess. So, which I already like at that point, we're already kind of having some suspicions what was going to happen at that point. Not to the extent to what happened, but yeah. And then we get KO, and I mean, it was a pretty average match up until the ref bump, I guess. Like, I mean, it wasn't bad.
Okay, no, it was decent. This is my thought process on this. You know, I'm not a big Roman guy, but I do believe that he's a very, very serviceable wrestler, and you can put him in any situation, and he's not going to make the match bad.
No,
he might not make it 7 out of 5 stars, but he's not going to be the reason the match sucks.
No.
And Kevin Owens is a guy that's really good. He's really
and he'll elevate a match.
He can elevate a match. So having them, plus this storyline is the best thing WWE's done since Austin McMahon. Okay.
Yes, it is. I can agree to that.
To be honest, or like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. So having this go, it's really working for me. And then Kevin Owens and him are working really well together in the ring.
It's telling that story that every time, you know, Reigns beats Kevin Owens doesn't stay down. Like, he's always getting back up. So this match was supposed to be the match that they're going to keep him down.
But I liked how they did it, because what we see later, it shows that Kevin Owens he's not a bitch. Like, it took
he can
all
beat
of
Roman.
them doing all of that to stop him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he can beat Roman because he's done it before. But every time he has Roman beat, the ref is out of the picture. So there was a ref bump.
You've if this is a word, you've de-elevated what Roman Reigns is, because every single title defense for the last 5 pay-per-views has been him cheating to win, or a ref bump, or some nonsense where the guy didn't count how many
You devalue Roman Reigns.
You deflated his inflations.
Here's the thing. Outside of what we're going to get to towards the end of the match, my thing is, I still have a problem with the whole Kevin Owens thing. And again, this is always going back to personality. Yeah, he's a good wrestler. He's one hell of a wrestler. And yeah, they put on the show. I cannot still take Kevin Owens seriously. Again, he seems like the type of guy that I see at a karaoke bar singing.
But you came into this when he was still being this weird, goofy type character. His character has changed now to be more like Ring of Honor Kevin Owens, where he's like a badass. Like,
well, no, I get it, and it's
style.
cool, but I still there's something about I just can't.
But the reason you're thinking that is because you're still stuck on that memory, because you didn't experience anything after that.
Yeah, true. I guess either way.
Yeah, because you watched
him, evolve as a character, and you never got to see that, right? You're just picturing him as like the guy doing the dumb interviews where he thinks he's a big.
Well, not even just that. I literally am saying it. There are people in my area that look
Kevin Owens
like
versus
Kevin Owens.
Elias.
Yeah,
there's people everywhere in the world that look like Kevin Owens.
Yeah, like I see people like
he looks like an everyman. That's what makes him like a special wrestler.
Yeah. But I get it. But see, the thing is, again, that's the whole thing of wrestling for me as well. And that's where they're always the lines of why wrestling's so good is you have the characters that have that very fantastical feel, and then the grounded characters. I've never really been the biggest grounded character kind of thing.
That's
I like
fair.
The big,
yeah,
mind you like Goldberg.
Well, yeah, but Goldberg was more of like an animal situation. Like, I don't see Kevin Owens being like that aggressive animal. That's what Goldberg was.
Well, that's what they're trying to make Roman Reigns seem like.
Yeah,
but he will never be this. He will never be this. In my eyes.
Obviously, no one will ever be that again, except Jade Cargill, who's I'm already tired of.
But post match, so we get a ref bump. Kevin Owens gets 5, 6, 7 counts with no ref. So
and then does it again. He did it again. He got another of like 7 count.
Yeah. Ref finally. So with the ref out, well, no, because he called for Roman Reigns called for Sammy to get him a chair. And right when he was going to hit Owens with the chair, Owens gives the stunner. And that's when the ref was out. Yeah. The ref was
the
out.
Second one.
That was the second one. That's right. So he was, again, ref bump, again, trying to cheat to win, which doesn't work for that Roman Reigns character where he's supposed to be this, badass kind of thing. And the ref finally comes to, we get the whole finish, and Roman Reigns ends up beating Kevin Owens yet again. Post-match, the rest of the group come out. The rest of the bloodline come out, and they lay absolutely roughshod on Kevin Owens. This post-match beatdown was pretty vicious.
I would like to call it a super kick party.
Yes, it kind of was. They made it look good. Like, obviously, we know it's kayfabe, unlike what happened with Okada and Miami
I don't
there.
know what the hell that was.
They still haven't addressed that yet, but I digress. But and they made it look believable. And at one point, like, they're just beating and beating and beating on him. Roman Reigns has the chair. He's ready to give the killing blow to Kevin Owens. And Sami Zayn finally steps in and says, "That's enough." He goes, "This is
you knew that was
beneath."
going to happen, though.
Yes. And he goes, "This is beneath you. You don't need to do this. You know, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. He's had enough. End it here." Right. And that's when Roman gives Sammy the chair and says, "You do it." And as soon as Roman handed Sammy the chair, we all said it. Sammy's hitting Roman with the chair.
Exactly.
And sure enough, Sammy hits Roman with the chair, turns on the bloodline. Yes and no. But
he did it in such a boss way too, because he hit him with the chair and then he threw it on the floor and said, "Do whatever you want."
Yeah, do whatever you want to me. And we noticed this too. They started laying into Sammy. We knew Sammy was going to lose his shirt because I called it at the beginning of the match where Sammy's collar was cut over here. So when the shirt is cut over here, it's an easy rip.
Well, yeah, but the fact it worked. The way he yanked on that shirt really gave that aggressive, like, mean, like, you felt bad for him. Like when I saw that, it's like, oh yeah, they're really going into this. I like this. So,
And the only person that did not take part in the beatdown was Jey Uso, surprisingly enough.
I, at the time, was very sipping on juice. And got super excited and stood up and was like, "Walk away." I'm like, "Walk away." And when he walked away, all of us freaked out because we're like, "This, you just elevated this story to a whole nother level now." And it went nowhere possibly in the direction anyone thought it was going to go.
But it makes me interested because we wanted to split up. We wanted something.
Oh, absolutely. We want this.
Yeah.
And this is the right way to do it. And this was the right time to do it. So I agree with what they did. So Campo and my brother and I, we were talking about this last night too. We were saying that this now sets up a Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos for the tag championships, where Jay is going to turn his back on the bloodline, make Jimmy take the pin, new tag team champions with Sammy and Kevin Owens, and Jey Uso is going to be like this lone wolf character that eventually is going to beat Roman.
So I got a new theory.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Lay it on me, brother.
This is going to go back to what I was saying before. Jey Uso is going to get that other shot against Roman Reigns. It's not going to be Sammy or Kevin. Cody's going to win. Jay's going to win. Jay's going to vacate his belt. Solo Sikoa is going to take over. Sikoa is going to be the partner for Jimmy. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to beat them, because they're going to be a way weaker tag team now without Jey Uso. And then Drew McIntyre and Sheamus or whoever are going to win the other one. But it's good. They're going to go into WrestleMania as a team still. Now, you know how everyone was like, Sammy's been on the rocks this whole time? It's the same thing.
Now, how about this? They have a tornado tag match where all 6 guys are in the ring. Drew gets the pin on one Uso and Kevin and Thing get the pin on the other. Uso.
That's fine.
And this way they both lose at the same time.
But I think the Jimmy beating or the Jay beating Roman is so much more impactful than Sammy beating Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think Sammy. If you really
wanted to, you could make it into a 2 3-on-3 factions. You can have Jimmy, Solo, and Roman now against Kevin, Sammy, and Jey Uso.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this was one of the better Rumble matches that I've seen. It was one of the better pay-per-views WWE has had since Clash at the Castle.
It was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it was. We had a good time. I think it was also the company that you keep in the show too, right? We were all having a good time. So
I think that's my first experience ever watching with a group of people. Usually, if I ever watch with anyone, it's either Putty or Danny. I've never been with like 4 people at once. It's a very different experience. And the Royal Rumble speaks to that situation. It's probably the best, other than Mania, it's like the best pay-per-view you can watch with a group of people.
When I was in my early 20s,
even with the casual wrestling fan,
when I was in my early 20s, whenever we would actually want to do stuff like that, I remember the first time we got cable in the apartment, everyone was like, okay, let's split the money, let's get a pay-per-view, you know what I mean? And it was one of those things that you led up to, the snacks, everything, that even if it's bad, it becomes an enjoyable experience just because of that moment of having him there. And me not having that, I can imagine how fantastic it was for you guys, because I actually enjoyed this and have high
it was a
numbers
good
for
show.
it. So
it really was a good show. And I
so
didn't let the fact that everybody was together affect my score either.
No, I would never. That's like when I watch people review movies and then they say, "Oh, the theater experience was great." Yeah, what does that have to do with the movie?
With the movie itself, yeah. So I did not let that affect my score. But with that out of the way, let's get into our scores. Since I'm already talking about it, I'll give mine first. Like I said, it was the best pay-per-view since Clash of the Castle. Not there. Clash of the Castle, I gave a 7.6. This one, I gave a slightly less score. I gave it a 7.4.
What did I score as Clash of the Castle? Do you know?
Yes, I do. You gave Clash at the Castle
a 7.7, right?
A 7.75.
Okay, Putty, what's your score?
Oh God. So actually, it's funny you said that's exactly what I was going to give this. I was going to give it a 7. I really feel like this did really good. I really
just
enjoyed
a 7
it.
Flat?
Just a 7?
Well, I mean 7.5.
No, I'm asking.
Okay, so yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, well, see, because the thing is, I was gonna give it 8. I feel like the one thing that flawed me in this was the match between Bianca and not Bianca, but with Alexa Bliss and
Bianca Belair.
Yeah, sorry, that match was struggling. I feel like and then there was the female Royal Rumble just felt so out of it. And I told you I skipped on some of the matches, so it's like I wanted to give it 8 just because of the first Royal Rumble and how good it was, and the Pitch Black match being so good. But that's why I got a 7. So I'm saying 7.5 because of that. So
okay.
Well, if you remove like the botches out of the women's match and you just remove Alexa Bliss versus Bianca off this card, I think I could have scored really high on this.
I would have gotten it higher too if that were the case. Yes.
Mind you, I'll give it a 7.5. I think.
Okay. So we're all in the same.
It was super enjoyable, but it just some of the execution points weren't perfect or done well enough for me to go any higher than that.
Hey, this is almost the same score you gave Japan Wrestle Kingdom 2. So,
well, Wrestle Kingdom 2 started off kind of wonky.
It
was better than New Year's Dash for me. Yes. It wasn't for you. You gave New Year's Dash a really
I enjoyed New Year's Dash better. I gave it a high score. I gave New Year's Dash an 8.1. But with that, there's our thoughts. Let us know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Let us know who you think should have won the Rumble. Let us know what you think of this whole Bloodline storyline, and who do you think should be defeating Roman Reigns after Cody defeats him at WrestleMania. And with that out of the way, guys, tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing something different, new, that we've never done before on this channel. So join us tomorrow for that. I won't say what it is. You just have to tune in to find out. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.